No, this is good. It fits perfect.
The soft one, the flexible.
Oh, no, I like this one. It stays in place.
Yeah. That's me. That's how I That's dirty. Wow. Yes.
સહજાનંદ સ્વામી મહારાજની જય. મહાબળવંત માયા તમારી જેણે આવરિયા નર નારી એવું વરદાન દીજીએ આપે એહ માયા તમારે વિશે જીવન નામે મનુષ્ય બુદ્ધિ કોઈ દાન જે જે લીલા કરો તમે લાગ તેને સમજવા લૌકિક ત્યાગ તમને બજતાયાડું જે પડે માગીએ અમને નવ નડે એટલું માગીએ જઈએ અમે બેજો દયા કરી હરિ તમે પડી ન માગીએ અમે છેલ્લા તમે સુણી લેજો હરિ દેરા ખેરી દેશો માટે અભિમાન જેણે કરી વિસરો ભગવાન કેદી કુસકનો સંગમાં દેજો અજરમાં થકી ઉગારી લેજો કેદી દેશોમાં સંસારી સુખ દેશોમાં પ્રભુ વાસ વિમુખ દેશોમાં પ્રભુ જગ મોટાઈ મગમાં સમજો સદાય દોષ એમ કયું થઈ રળિયાત સૌએ સત્ય કરી માની વાત સજાનંદ સ્વામી મહારાજ
જય સ્વામિનારાયણ
નામ લેશે તેના બધા પાતક બાળી દેશે જે નામ મારા સ્તુતિમાય અનેક
સર્વો મહિયાજ ગણાય
જો સ્વામિનારાયણ એક વાર રટે બીજા નામ ત્યાં હજાર જપ્યા થકી જે પડતાય એનું કરી શકે વર્ણન કોણ તેનું
સાડાક્ષરી મંત્ર મહાસમર્થ
જેથી થશે સિદ્ધ સમસ્ત અર્થ સુખી કરે સંકટ સર્વ કાપે અંતે વળી અક્ષરધામયામે ગાયત્રી લક્ષ ગુણો વિશેષ જાણે જ જેનો મહિમા મહેશ જ્યાં જ્યાં મહામુક્ત જનો વસાય આ કાળમાં તો જપે જતાય જો અંતકાળે શ્રવણે સુણાય
પાપી ગણો તે
મોક્ષ જાય તે મંત્રથી ભૂત પિશાચ ભાગે તે મંત્રથી તો સદબુદ્ધિ જાગે તે મંત્ર જેના મુખથી જપાય તેના થકી તો જમનાશી જાય
શ્રી સ્વામિનારાયણ
નારાયણ જે કહે છે ભાવે
ભાવે વણમો મિલે છે સાડાક્ષરો છે
સદશાસ્ત્ર સાર તે તો તારે ભવસિંધુ પાર છએ ઋતુમાં દિવસે નિશાએ સર્વ ક્રિયામાં સમરો સદાય પવિત્ર દેહ અપવિત્ર દેહ
તેના મનીય
સમરોજ સ્નેહ જડે કરીને તન મેલ જાય આનામથી અંતર શુદ્ધ થાય જેને મહાપાપ કર્યા અનંત જેણે પીડ્યા બ્રાહ્મણ તેનું સંત તે સ્વામિનારાયણ નામ લેતા લાજી મરે છે મુખથી કહેતા શ્રી સ્વામિનારાયણ નામ સાર છે પાપને તે પ્રજડાવનાર પાપી ગણું અંતર હોય જેનું બળ્યા વિના કે મરે જ તેનું બળ્યા વિના કે મરે જ તેનું સજાનંદ સ્વામી મહારાજ નમન હું કરું વિશ્વ પાળને કર કરી કહું ભક્તિ બાળને અરજ માં હરી પૂર માં ધરો સર્વજનને શુભવું નથી. કઠણ કાળમાં આપ છો ધણી, સુખદ શામળા મોક્ષના મણી. અમર નામથી આશ તારી, રસિક રાખજો લાજ મારી. પ્રણત પાડજો વિશ્વના વિભુ, દીન દયાળ છો સર્વના પ્રભુ. વિમળ મૂર્તિ પૂરમાં વસો, નજરથી પ્રભુ દૂર નાખશો. અનેક ત્રાસને તોડી નાખજો, આ બ્રહ્માનંદને પાસ રાખજો. આ દીન દાસને પાસ રાખજો. સહજાનંદ સ્વામી મહારાજ.
I'll start. Satsang Swami Maharaj ne jai. Swami Narayana, Swami Narayana,
સ્વામિ નારાયણ, સ્વામિ નારાયણ,
Swami Narayana,
સ્વામિ નારાયણ, 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 સ્વામિનારાયણ, 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 સહજાનંદ સ્વામી મહારાજની જય. ઓરાયાવો મારા લે રખડા લે, ઓરાયાવો મારા લે રખડા લે, ઓરાયાવો મારા લે રખડા લે, ઓરાયાવો મારા લે રખડા લે. તમ સારું ને જગ મેરી, તમ સારું ને જગ મેરી, ઓરાયાવો મારા Happy હજારોને સહજાનંદ જીઓ પૂર્ણા કરીને હજારોને સહજાનંદ જીઓ પૂર્ણા કરીને
That's wrong. Go ahead. We have the battery. We gotta change it. Yeah, we got to change it tomorrow. Make sure you remember. You're going now. It's inside, yeah. Hello, hello. So I can't tell you to do it. Hello, hello, hello. Hello, can you hear me? Yeah. Satsang Swami Maharaj ji jai. Hare Krishna Maharaj ji jai. Ghanshyam Maharaj ji jai. Just doing Loya 10. Enough time to prepare. So, it's going to be a collaboration with this kata. In the somewhat year 1877, on the morning of Magashar Sud, Sriji Maharaj was sitting on a decorated bedstead in Surakasha Darbar in Loya. He was wearing a white dagi made of chitni and white surah. He also had tied a white feto around his head. A sabha of munis as well as Hari Bhaktos from various places had gathered before him. Then Nityananda Swami said, in this world there are some men who have such love for women and other objects that if they were to be separated, they would not be able to live. There are others who have love for women and other objects, but it is not as intense, so if they were to be separated, they would survive. In this way, there are two types of people. Now, if the first type of person who involves himself in the worldly life with love were to meet Bhagwan, he would become attached to Bhagwan in the same way. If he were to be separated from Bhagwan, he would not be able to survive. Moreover, if the second person were with less love for worldly life were to meet Bhagwan, he would have less love for Bhagwan. As well, and is the difference between these two types of people due to karmas, or is it just internal? So there's two types of people. Was it considered? Did you get it? Yeah. Well, I'm just going to say it for him. There's two types of people. The first one, he has more love towards people, and the second one doesn't. So the difference between them is if they were to get attached to God, for instance, instead of an object or a person, then they would have more love. The second person would not. And now they're asking, is it due to the karmas or is it due to the external? Eternal. Or is it internal? Eternal. What does that mean? No, it's probably spelled
Eternal.
So what do you mean by eternal?
Eternal means from long time ago.
Yeah, but I thought you meant it's that. Yeah, that's past life, right? You said no, your karmas. I said, is it due to karmas or is it due to eternal? That's what it says. Yeah. So what does that second part mean? Yeah, that's what I thought.
They sound the same because karma is like from all your past lives, so that means that could be eternal, right?
No, soul is eternal. The karma is not eternal.
It's not. Karma is changing.
Karma was if you've seen
Another follows you every life.
So past life you enjoy here, and then whatever karmas you do is gonna be you're gonna suffer it for tomorrow. So it's like only one life.
Oh, so, but it does carry over a couple lives. Oh, okay.
So it's not forever.
If you didn't finish,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So does anybody know if it's eternal or it's a karma? Paula?
You're not supposed to read it. He said I'm reading it.
Jay?
That's what I'm saying, I don't know.
Any guesses?
No.
Educated guess?
You can make an argument for both, right?
Yeah.
You could say that, yeah, it's from your karmas, which is your actions that you've done in the past, they might have a bearing on the way that person behaves. And then in the same way, I mean, when you look at it, it could just mean that could be from many past lives ago, where it's something that's a part of you now. And as a result, whatever you have like love for, you get very attached to it.
But my question is, I don't think anything get attached to the soul? Like, no, right? So it's
Yeah,
not
but like
possible.
it's like saying when you have these bad vices, some are very easy to get rid of and some are very hard. And we've said that the ones that are very hard is because of your past life and your past karmas, where it has an effect on how how it is now.
Karmas than eternal, because
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's why I still don't understand the difference between the two. Like, it's very.
It's like the soul is like your one. It doesn't really get doesn't get impure. It doesn't have impurity. The thing sticks to it, fine. But the original soul is not like that. So original soul is eternal. It's just like as much as the God is old, the soul is old. But the karmas is not. It doesn't go as far as the soul goes. Like anadi means that there is no root, right? Means anadi means there is no root. That means you don't know where it came from. It's like they say, where the chicken came first, or the
Oh, okay.
the egg came
So that's the way you're
Like
talking
that.
about when you're saying eternal.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Eternal. You don't know. It's there forever.
It never.
It didn't get
It didn't
created.
want or it
Yeah. So then that love, it's probably you probably do know. No, isn't that from like? Then it's probably your past lives. You may have
so
done
it's
something
karmas then.
good, or you may have done something bad to prevent you from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because of the karma.
Yeah, yeah.
Hearing this, Sriji Maharaj said, those differences are not inherently present in the jeev. Instead, they arise from the result of karmas.
Yeah.
We just figured it out. How does this happen? Well, when a jeev performs karma, the force of its vrittis can be of 3 levels. Force of the vrittis can be mild, medium, intense. The force with which the vrittis attach themselves to the objects determines the effect of the karma upon the jeev. As a result, these 3 love arises due to these karmas.
Did you say the 3 levels? I asked
Yeah,
the question. I didn't. What did you say?
There's 3 levels of intensity: mild, medium, and intense. And they happen due to your karmas. So now, then Nityananda Swami asks, do these 3 levels in the force of the vrittis occur as a result of the gun, or is there some other reason? Dave? Anything?
No.
Leah? You have an answer? Alright. Maharaj then replies, there are 3 types of differences. There are 3 types of differences are not due to the gun. To be more precise, when only the indriyas indulge in an object, then a mild force results. So,
Yeah.
okay. When they just indulge in an object along with the mind, a medium force. And then when all 3 indriyas, the mind and the jeev combine, indulges in an intense.
Intense, yeah.
So they're just stages. Even if the intense force still affects only the eyes, the other indriyas would follow, and force would attach them as well. In this way, whichever indriyas is primarily affected by the intense force, the other indriyas follow. Moreover, that intense force affects all three types of people. I don't know what these people are. Rajasi, Satyavik, and Tamas. I don't know what that means.
Oh, no, that's
Isn't that
So
the,
the-
yeah.
Yeah.
oh, that's those kind of people.
I don't know how to say that. And so that's how these three people are clarified. In fact, such intense force is present in each object of the indriyas. Therefore, love for objects arises. Is that clear? Or should I just go on more?
No, I have a question. I guess you could understand how if your senses become attached to something that's, like he said, it's mild, and then you take it a step further and it's the mind, that's medium. What's an example of when all three are attached to some force? When does that happen? What is that? What's an example of that?
It's like, when you do the things because you have to do that, that's basically your indriyas in all that. When you like to do something, right, then your mind is also at it. So your mind because you can't do anything without indriyas. So then it will become medium. And then when you crave for something, like not just you like it, just crave for it,
Yeah.
and then you put your heart and soul in it.
So that's
like
how
they
you
say, put your heart and soul in anything. So that's when it becomes clear, and then you attach to your soul for forever.
Got it.
Basically, you sold.
Right. Yeah, you're
Because
sold on whatever it is.
now,
Right.
like if you go to a dealership and you see this nice car, and first you look at it and you're looking at the outside, all the features and everything, you like it.
Yeah.
That's indriya, right? Because your indriya likes different things, like different gadgets and stuff.
Yeah.
So now indriya was sold already. Now your mind says, this is really good. You know why? Because this goes 80 miles an hour in 3 seconds. So this is a really fast car. I have to have. Now your mind is sold, right? Because mind is much more like with this, like your intellect
Yeah, you try
attached to the
to-
mind. Now you are sold with that. And the third thing comes, your soul, that inner side, he says, you know what? I think I should buy this. And that's it, is over. So all three is in the same ways, right? Going on the same path. So now your force is triple.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't have money, but you decided you're going to buy somehow. So now you're going to do anything possible to get that money out from either your parents or get a loan or something. Right? And that's what it is.
To give you a bit clarification, think of it this way. When you go into a car dealer, you're going because you want the car,
Yeah.
right? Versus you going with your friend just to look at it. Versus you just see it in the street just going by. Right? Three different intensities, right? If it's going in the car, okay, it just went by, it's a car. When you're with your friend, you look at it, you start kind of paying attention to all the details and everything. You inspect it closely and everything. But then when you actually have to buy it because you want it, your mind and soul both are in the purchase and what kind of car you're getting at the same time.
No, I think we've all done that. 'cause we're-
But at the same time, what does it do effect? What's the effect? All these three things, like he said, Jiddu said, what is the effect? That's what Srijimara is trying to, bring it to effect. What's the effect?
That it sticks to your soul.
Right, no, but when you, let's say, when he said, like, when you go to look at the car, it doesn't hurt you. You go sit in the car because when your mind gets into that you may want to drive the car, rather than have it, just make a ride, take a ride. In taking a ride, you may get hurt, you may not get hurt. But now, the intensity is there. When you buy the car, now it hurts your pocket.
Right.
So now it's serious. Just like that, when you do the intense karma and with the intensity,
Also, then it gets real.
then it affects your soul more.
Yeah.
Then Nityananda Swami asks, why does he not develop love for Bhagavan with such an intense force? The Maharaj says, good and bad behavior is determined by the factors of Desh, Kal, Kriya, Dhyan, Shastras, Disya, Mantra, and Sam. So these are the reasons, good and bad. So if a person attains pleasant factors, then he develops love for Bhagavan quickly. But if he encounters unpleasant factors, then he would develop love for objects than Bhagavan. So then Chaitanya Swami asked, what should a person do in difficult times?
Leave.
That's actually the answer.
I know, because we've done this before. He says leave.
Whatever times are hard, a person should abandon the place for another location. He should not stay where the factor of God is unpleasant. In actual fact, God is a form of Satyayug. I don't know how to say this. Treta
What's and Dwapar.
and Dwapar.
What are those?
That's a time frame. There are 4 time frames.
Of mankind.
It's like a cycle, but it's a 4 different one. The first one is Satyuga, then Treta, Dwapar, and Kali Yuga. We are in Kali Yuga. This is the 4th era of the time. Now this is like about 4,000. This cycle, 1,000 cycles. So it's a 4,000 time frame that goes by. That's a 1 day of the Brahma. So you're talking about billions of years. Just give it.
It's 8,000. Actually it was 8,000, not 4,000.
4,000. It's 1,000.
2,000
topic.
2,000 shopping.
Not
Dios are not 2,000 shopping.
I was not happy, but for days, like 1 day.
After that shopping, they are the shopping. 8,000 here goes by.
And that's 1 day in Brahma.
Just 1 day and night.
They're 24 hours, not
Nara.
Exists both externally and within a person's heart. He should now visualize the murti of Bhagavan within this heart. Instead, it should be seen externally before his eyes. So he's just saying you should not visualize in your heart God's when you're in this mindset, when you're
And bad time.
bad times, you should just see him. Then Muktananda Swami asks, how can a person distinguish whether a mild, medium, or intense force prevails within someone's heart? Well, we actually just discussed about we give reasons. What makes you in certain areas, right? Like he said, if a car drives by, and if you go with your friend, or if you go by the car. So there's just different stages, and he's just asking now Muktananda Swami, what distinguishes mild, medium, and intense? Maharaj replies, when the force is mild, a person would have the same feeling on seeing a young girl, a young woman, or an old lady. This is because only the vrittis of the Indriyas have become involved. So it's really mild, so if this person just sees all the women the same way. As a result, a mild force has developed. When the mild unites with the Indriyas and they see the 3 types of women, then no improper thoughts arise towards the young girl or the old lady, but indecent thoughts certainly do arise toward the young woman, and disturbance is experienced. This should be known as a medium. So when he actually has bad thoughts about the young woman, then you know it's mild. Not mild, medium. This should be known as medium love force. When both the mind and the jeev combine with the indriyas and look at 3 types of women, the improper thoughts arise towards all three types of women, and that disturbance is experienced. In fact, a person would experience such improper thoughts even on seeing his own mother or sister. This should be known as intense force. So we're talking some pretty sick people. Are we getting it? Yeah? Dave? Yes, no? Do you have any questions? Krishna? Rashida?
How does this relate to everything we discussed before?
What do you mean?
Like you're reading parts of it, but I don't see any connections. Like throughout.
I think we're still on the first topic.
Yeah, I think we're still on one topic.
We started off with like the love for a woman. We started for that, an object, and then we're still on the same thing. And it just is going into in depth like what are the stages now. You're good?
Go ahead.
Then Brahmana Swami asks, suppose a person notices a distinction between the three types of women and notices their beauty and ugliness. Yet he does not experience any improper thoughts. Which type of force is this?
using your mind. I don't know.
And Sri Maharaj says, having realized an object to be the cause of intense misery, and having reflected upon that fact, a person assigns serious flaws to that object. The reflection of those disadvantages in the mind that leads to those flaws being acknowledged by the jiva. So he's just realizing that that object is poison, basically. Even if I do it, I'm going to get, I'm going to have a flaw. The witness, who is God, who is greater than the jiva, also confirms those flaws. So God realizes that too, that it destroys your jiva. And so extreme firm belief in those flaws is developed. Therefore, when the vrittis of indriyas enter the object, the mind and the jiva also go along with the vrittis. But since the jiva also Therefore, when the vrittis of indriyas enter the object, the mind, the jiva, also go along with the vrittis. But since the jiva deep believes in the deep believes of the flaw, this error, and the object pierces the mind, the indriyas, even though the object is seen and fully recognized. An intense hatred still arises for it. So this guy is just basically saying that I don't know how to explain this. It's pure, like, Kelby, can you help me out?
Well, he did speak about the way.
Repeat it. Having realized an object to be the cause of intense misery, and having reflected upon that fact, a person assigns serious flaws to that object. The reflection of those disadvantages in the mind then leads to those flaws being acknowledged by the jiva. The witness, Bhagavan, who is greater than the jiva, also confirms those flaws. And so an extreme firm belief in those those flaws is developed. Therefore, when the vrittis of the indriyas enter the object, the mind, the jiva, also go along with the vrittis. But since the jiva's deep belief of the flaw in the object pierces the mind and the indriyas, even though the object is seen and fully recognized, an intense hatred still arises for it. Then he gives an example, but I just want to first clarify this.
To explain either. Do you want to go?
Doesn't it say the soul like stops it? Like when something bad comes up, then the soul, because it has a lot of knowledge, it knows that it shouldn't be drawn towards it, so
Actually,
then that soul convinces the
these are
senses.
more like a three filters. Indriya, if it works right, right, then it doesn't go
It
further.
won't go further, yeah.
Second one is man. If it is man is strong enough, if went through the indriya and man is strong enough, then it will not go any further to the jiva. But if both not good enough, then it will penetrate to the jiva, even though is a bad thing for that soul or whatever. So basically it's acts as a filter, but if doesn't do the job or doesn't understand the importance of not letting in, then it doesn't work. I think that's what the meaning of the whole Vatnamrita, I think.
It's
So far.
I was going to say it's reinforcing what was
Yeah.
stated in the previous
It's
paragraph.
example of
Right.
before, and he's reinforcing that by having this example of the woman. That's
So,
all.
this is an example, it's converse. So it's saying that your five senses knows that something is bad. For example, a fire. When you touch it, you know it's hot, right? But if your mind says it's not hot, it's going to override your senses, and it's still trying to go into experience it. But if your mind is in it and it knows that it's also bad, then you're not going to let your senses touch it. Right? So if your mind stops it, then your jiva is not even going to know about it, because your mind stopped it. Right? So your jiva really doesn't know about it, that, okay, this is fire, if I touch it, it's going to be bad. It's not going to experience that sensation, or it's not going to experience that bad thing about it.
Yeah, breaking ideas and your mind blowing.
Right. But now, on the other side, if you have milk that's very sugary, because you like sweet stuff,
Yeah.
you drink a little bit, you like it. Now your mind is into it as well. Right? And if both of them are together, then you're going to let your jiva feel that, oh, this gives me a good feeling about it. So, taste, you're using your mouth to taste it, right? So that's one of the indriyas which gets to your mind, because now it tastes sugary or it tastes sweet. So now your senses like it, your mind like it, so you're going to expand it in your jiva. What does that sensation like? It's happiness, relaxation, or whatever the feeling you have. So it's a converse example of the previous one we were talking about a car. Cars going by, you go see a car with your friend, and then you actually have to buy the car. It's the same thing. Does that make sense?
No, it doesn't.
What are you guys discussing? The Brahmana Swami's question? The last one?
Yeah. Yeah, Brahman's one.
That's not the answer to the question.
I know, but
That's
we're
not
still
what
on
he's
Brahman
saying.
Swami's question.
That's not what it's saying.
Yeah, he's not saying that. The filters were in the beginning. He's saying something totally
Something
different.
different.
This is, yeah, I think he's saying what you said
Yeah,
too.
that's what I was saying.
That the G won't let it penetrate it because it's stronger.
What Brahmana Swami is asking that, if let's say, if I'm the guy and I'm looking at the three different kind of a woman, and this is old lady, this is young lady, and this is, child. And yet, no feelings happens in my mind, then what should I understand? Why does it happen? That's what he's asking, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now Siji Maharaj says that, when it happens like that, that means you have conquered all your, Panchvisa and everything else, because now, because that stage happens because you know, your Indriya knows that this is gonna, ruin my soul. Looks at it and takes it in, and mind says the same thing, and then soul also reinforces the same thing. So that means that guy has nothing to worry about it, because when you see something and he says nothing happens, it's just like there's a gold and there's a dirt. Yeah, it's there. It's two things, no difference. Just like that. So that's what he's trying to say. Not that what you guys were discussing as far as I know, as far as I know.
Sure. I'm looking at it. He says, I'm gonna read in Gujarati and then let's see if that works. પદાર્થ વિશે જ્યારે ઇન્દ્રિયોની વૃત્તિ જાય છે ત્યારે વૃત્તિ વેળે મન તથા જીવ બે એક આવે છે, પણ જીવમાં તે અતિશય દોષની દૃઢતા છે, તે દોષની સેડ મન ઇન્દ્રિયો વિશે સોંસરી નીકળે છે. જ્યારે તે પદાર્થ યથાર્થ દેખામાં અને જાણ્યામાં આવે તેને વિશે અત્યંત અભાવ આવી જાય છે. જેમ દૂધ સાકરમાં પાત્ર ભર્યું હોય અને તેમાં સર્પની લાળ નાખી હોય, તેને નાખતા ડીઠી હોય, પણ છે દૂધ જેવું પૂર્વે દેખાતું હતું તેવું જ દેખાય છે, અને એનો અતિ અભાવ હૈયામાં વર્તે છે. કેમ જે એમ જાણ્યું છે આ પીવે તો તત્કાળ પ્રાણ જાય. એમ આ સ્વરૂપવાન સ્ત્રી છે તે કલ્યાણના માર્ગમાં વિરોધી છે, અને આલોક પરલોકને વિશે પરમ દુઃખદાયી છે. એટલે what he's trying to say actually it boils down to the same one though, because if you don't stop this, it's gonna go in a soul.
If you not stop what? You don't stop what?
What's coming from outside, right? If you don't stop that, if you accept in indriya, mind and soul,
but no,
then it's going to destroy.
The question is about Mahanas's question is that if a person who does not see this thing, then what do you understand? So that means that guy is already beyond everything. He doesn't have to worry about it. Because your soul is so powerful, your mind and indriyas also, it goes through their mind and indriya also, that okay, fine. They understand also that this is not good, this is not good, this is not good, I don't do this.
It says the object is seen and fully recognized, and
That's fully recognized by the indriyas and mind also.
and an intense hatred still arises for it.
That's what it is.
So
Because you have to recognize.
Right.
If you recognize the problem, now you're trying to.
Yeah, but no, what he's saying that when I don't see difference, then Sriti Maharaj says, yeah, because that's why, because your soul is so powerful.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Your soul has already become powerful.
Yeah, no, that
Has
makes
gone
sense.
through all the stages.
That makes sense.
And he gives an example too. If a snake venom is dropped into a bowl of sweet milk, and a person sees the venom being added, and even though the milk appears exactly as before, an intense hatred for it prevails in his heart.
So that means here the knowledge of that thing is like poisonous milk, right?
Yeah.
So even if you see the same milk, white, this is white milk, the unpoisonous and poisonous, you have no affection for that. Like, you don't want to even touch that thing. So that's how you become, and that's how exactly towards the other Visayas.
Yeah, he says it after. Keep reading.
If I drink the milk, I will die. Similarly, such a person has realized this beautiful woman is an obstacle on the path of Kalyan, and if she is a cause of extreme misery in the lok and in the higher loks. In fact, I have attained the company of women countless times in the past lives in various life forms, and if I still do not worship Bhagwan, I will attain the company of countless more females. Therefore, this attachment is not rare. However, this company of Bhagwan and his saints is extremely rare. And this woman is a major obstacle in the attainment of that. Person who has realized this and has intends to realize the flaws in the object will never be infatuated on seeing a woman, regardless of how beautiful she may be. So, like this cliche about soulmates is not true, because once you get married, it's just about procreating. There's nothing after that, because once you die, they're not going to be with you. It's only God. So you're not supposed to be all attached. Like, you know, in America, there's soulmates and stuff like that. You got a problem? Dave? Any questions? Jay? Everything's good?
Fine, yeah.
Krishna? Furthermore, there is another way to remain free of infatuation. Janak, the
King.
yeah, who was a great king and a Bhagwan, stayed in the kingdom and due to his firmness in Gnan, remained free of infatuation even while indulging in attractive vishas. Similarly, a bhakt with Dhyan like Janak has the thought, I am the Atma, pure, I don't know how to say this, Chaitanya, unchanging, blissful, and imperishable. However, vishas like women and other objects are full of misery and they are worthless, pierceable, and jad. With this thought, he believes only his own self, the Atma, as being blissful. Also, he believes the pleasure of charm, which are apparent in this Vishay, are only experienced due to the Atma. But when the Atma leaves the body, that which one pleasurable becomes miserable. He reflects upon the Atma in this way. So he's just realizing afterward, in the end of the paragraph, it says that he realized, so if he did get attached to a woman or object, what his misery would be. And like he would realize his flaws and what he should have done if he had another chance. He also reflects upon Paramatma, who is greater than Atma, as follows. I have attained the Gnan of a pure Atma, which is greater than Maya. By the grace of the saint, that saint is the Bhakt of Bhagwan. Moreover, that Bhagwan is the Atma of even Brahma, who is Atma of all. He is Atma of Akshar and is also Atma of countless millions of Mukt. I am Brahma Rup Das of Brahman Purushottam Narayan. I didn't understand this paragraph.
There's another one coming up. That's good.
What did you not understand?
I didn't understand what he was trying to say though. Like he's saying that he's greater than Atma, but then after that I don't get it.
We're still talking about Janak, right?
No, this is after.
Oh, this is the one after. 'Cause I
No,
understood
I don't know,
that.
just
Janak Raja had this knowledge.
Yeah, he had this quality. It's like he understood that.
He understands this and the previous. This whole thing is just what Janak understands.
That's what he's saying.
What he said, right? He said,
How he's
you
able to
can't
see
tell the
that.
difference between gold and dirt
Yeah.
because you attain that state. Janak Raja was a king. You know how kings live, right?
Yeah.
He lived as a king in a kingdom, but still, like he said,
He had extraordinary visayas.
Exactly.
You know, I enjoy.
he got to enjoy whatever he wanted, but still it was nothing for him. Because he had this knowledge, he had this understanding, and he kept it with him the whole time. So read it really carefully and try to figure out like what it's saying.
He lived in his kingdom and enjoyed the object of pleasure, including the pleasure of words, music, etc. But being firmly established in knowledge, he remained unaffected.
Yeah, so now read the knowledge. He also reflects upon
In English, this is 99, that's why. Read this one.
A person who is enlightened as Janak would think, I am the soul, the pure one, dynamic, changeless, blissful, and eternal. The objects of pleasure, such as women, are for making me suffer, are trifling, lifeless, and ephemeral. Ephemeral. No, Ephemeral. Ephemeral.
Wait, spell that again?
Ephemeral. That's the word it's used.
And prepares you for the SAT.
Pondering thus, he is convinced that spiritual bliss comes through the self, and the happiness that appears to be quite considerable in objects of pleasure, such as sound, etc., is because of the soul, and when the soul leaves the body, what gives happiness becomes defunct. Thus, a person thinks about the soul and about God, who is above the soul. Then he thinks, because of the grace of a saint, I have achieved pure knowledge of the soul, which transcends Maya. That saint is the devotee of God, and God is the soul of Brahma, who is the soul of all souls. God is also the soul of Akshar, or the eternal abode of God. He is the soul of the infinite number of redeemed souls. I am the divinized slave of God. Ram Brahma, Paramatma Narayana. He knows the glory of God. Does that make sense?
Isn't this bottom line that he knows he's the soul?
But he knows that God is everything. That's what he's trying to say.
He's transcending.
That God is soul of everything. Like this body's soul is our soul. So whole world, whole universe, everything is soul is the God. That's how his bottom line is. And you understand that knowledge, you have got that knowledge. That's what Janak Raj is saying. This is what I understood. That's what my knowledge is.
So basically the happiness that appears to be quite considerable in objects of pleasure such as sound, etc. is because of the soul. And when the soul leaves the body, what gives happiness becomes defunct. So your soul stands by itself. It doesn't have any more body to feel the senses through, or the mind to come to conclusions or derive the pleasures that comes from senses. So this is sort of separating your soul versus your mind and body.
Also, he understands the greatness of Bhagwan by realizing that
it's a slow.
it's a slow.
Just read the meaning.
Alright. Even the masters of the higher loks cannot understand your greatness because it is endless. Neither can you yourself understand your own greatness. In your each and every hair, countless Brahmas and their barriers fly simultaneously at immense speed, like the specks of dust flying in the air. Even the Srutris ultimately perish in you and fail to praise your glory. So that's what the sloka means if you have your phones on. Such slokas have greatly explained the greatness of Bhagwan. When a person who has Gnan of his own self and Bhagwan attains a Vishay, his mind would not even be slightly affected by it, regardless of how appealing it may be. He indulges in the essential Vishas without becoming dependent upon them. Instead, he indulges in them independently of his own accord. just as a spider spreads its own web and then it independently retracts it when it's necessary. In the same way, a bug processing gnan engages the buddhis of his indriyas in the vishayas and retracts them on his own accord. Such a person feels as if he is in the forest, even if he is amongst people, and though he may be in the forest, he experiences more happiness.
What does that mean? Like start from spider and it takes out saliva and then takes it back again, right?
Yeah.
And then
I think he's just saying about bhakti, when he engages in gnan, and he, in his indriyas and wishes, he can retract them like, I don't know how to say it, I think he can control it, or not control it, but like he knows, like Janak did.
It means like you
so
can.
when, no, that means that like you have seen, I have seen like spider. What does he do? It, gets out his saliva or whatever they call that,
Yeah,
and then whenever he takes when he needs it, spreads it and then takes it back.
Yeah.
So similarly, the great people like Janak or like any good saint like Swamiji, he indulges in all this like Samaya and this and there and stuff like that. But when he talks, he says, I never forgot the God for a second since I was in 6th grade, right? So that's what the stage of that person is. That he can be in with thousands and hundreds and millions of people, but he never forgets the God. Versus we are like where even sitting here we forget God. And we talk about something else, we get into something else, and we forget that when he's sitting there. It's like, if President Obama was here, would you have courage to go somewhere else or look at anything else or talk about anything else? You would pay attention to that, right? That person. We don't do that because we didn't understand him as that was important. These great saints and like Janak, they understood. So that's the greatness, and we ought to achieve that. We have to try to do that, but we don't do that. So that's the difference. આપણે બુદ્ધિ બહાર કાઢી ખેંચી ગઈ છે નથી ખેંચતા કેમ નથી ખેંચતા વૃત્તિને સંકલવી જોઈએ ને સંકલતા નથી મારા એક વખત મુક્તાનંદ સ્વામી સ્વરૂપાનંદ બધાનો પ્રશ્ન પૂછ્યો આજે તું અંકલ એક વાત કરી હતી કે ભાઈ તમે ભગવાનની કેવી રીતે સંભાળો છો તો કહે છે કે મુક્તાનંદ સ્વામી કે મારી તો વૃત્તિ એક વેત બહાર ગઈ તો 2 વેત પાછી ખેંચે તારાને સંતોષ થાય તો સ્વરૂપાનંદ સ્વામીને કીધું તો સ્વરૂપાનંદ સ્વામી કહે છે કે મને તો જ્યાં જોઉં ભગવાન દેખાય છે તો કેવું કેવી રીતે થાય તો કે પેલું તીર મારતા હોય તો તીરની આગળ લીંબુ ભરાયું હોય તો લેમન લગાડ્યું તે એરોની આગળ તો જે બાજુ લઈ જતો તે એવું લેમન દેખાય ને So similarly, I see God everywhere. Doesn't matter even if I go to 1,000 different people, but I see God. That's called the greatness. And that's what exactly he's trying to say here. અને એવું કહેવાય થાય કે એવા જે સંત હોય છે કે એની વૃત્તિ એની બહાર જેટલી બહાર કાઢી તો બીજી અંદર કાઢી લે પાછી એટલે મહારાજ કહે કે ઇન્ટ્રોવર્ટેડ થવું એને તો વૃત્તિ રાખી You have to be introverted. If you become extroverted, it doesn't mean anything. એક ભગત હતા પહેલા તો સમાધિ કરીને જતા હતા He used to meditate and he was going to the Akshardham. After 2, 3, 4 months he would come back. You know why? He would remember his wife. Yeah, he would remember his wife and he would come back. He was a very good devotee, very good bhagat, right? પછી જ્યાં કીધું કે અને ગોપાળાન સ્વામી શિષ્ય હતો તો કે ગોપાળાન સ્વામી આવું કરે તો ખરાબ દેખાય કે બધામાં એમ તો પછી ગોપાળાન સ્વામી કીધું કેમ ભગત આવું થાય છે તો કે મને નહીં ખબર પડતી then he says okay તમે સમાધિ કરીને જાઓ છો ને અક્ષરધામમાં તો મને જુઓ છો તો કે હા તો એ વખતે મને જવાબ મને પૂછો હું તમને જવાબ આપીશ તો કે અહીંયા આપી દો કે એ વખતે પૂછો when you go to Akshardham while meditating ask me I'll answer you so next time he went he saw Gopalan Swami Sriji Maharaj જોડે જતા સેવા So, so he asked, okay, why does it happen to me? So, okay, how do you meditate God? How do you meditate God? તો કે મારી સામે આગળ આટલી ભગવાનની મૂર્તિ આવી જશે હું જોઉં છું ભગવાન એ રીતે ભગવાન ધ્યાન પર એમ ધ્યાન થઈ જશે કે don't do that. Look inside, close your eyes, and right here in your heart, just assume your God's statue and pray upon that or meditate upon that, not outside. And that's why તમારી જે આ સમાધિ ભંગ થઈ જાય બહાર તમે બહાર દાવો છે ને, so you have to be introverted all the time. If you become outside, nothing's going to happen. It's not going to happen. So then he came back and he asked Gopalatham, why didn't you tell me that before? Same thing he could have said me here. Why didn't he say that? He said you wouldn't have believed me. Because you were in meditating, you were such a stage, very good stage. You would listen to me, you would believe me. When you prayer told you here on this earth, you wouldn't have believed me.
Your mind and senses take
You
over.
are not there. Yes, exactly. Your brain would be thinking something. You have intellect. You would argue.
Simple thing, when you're praying or something, does your mind wander?
Of course, right? And you keep arguing about things. You're inside. You keep fighting. So become introverted. એટલે જ મુક્તાના સાહેબ કે કોઈ એક વૃત્તિ એક વેદ બહાર કાઢો બે વેદ પાછું લઈ લો અંદર.
Alright, I'm gonna end here. There's a lot more.
Yeah, it's long.
You want to pick it up next week?
Yeah.
I saw like 3 more pages. Sridharam Sarvadevisam Bhaktidaram Atmajam Karam we keep doing that.
So just keep it on.
The gist of it is that look at from inside out, not outside in. Senses, mind to soul. That's a long word. It's soul, mind to senses. So when you want to be close to God, don't let your senses and mind control what your soul feels, what it does, how it does. As opposed to shut everything out, or shut down your senses, shut down your mind, and then pray to God.
You can't shut down your senses. You can't shut down
He's
your
talking
mind.
about,
So you have to direct your senses and mind towards the God, and you assume that it's sitting right here. That's what I'm looking at. It's very hard, but you got to practice it. It will happen. You will see the God in your heart, right in the middle. But you have to direct it. You can't stop anything. You can't stop your senses to think, or mind to think. You can't stop your senses to assume anything. You won't do that. But you just have to change direction. If you want to go to Naga, you got to go north, right? If you go south, you won't go there.
and then you'll get to a point where it doesn't matter where your birthday is. You still, I said, and then it gets to a point where it doesn't matter.
Right, it's just like swimming. I give a lot of examples to my kids. When you start swimming, first 2, 3, 4 laps, you're going to be tired and you're going to be out of breath. But you ignore it and continue swimming, then you won't feel it. It's the body was just going to throw back and forth, nothing's going to happen. Because I learned that this is how I did. So it won't matter at all. So then it doesn't matter. You can do 25 laps. You won't feel it. But you need to practice. But the first 4, 3, 4, 5, it's going to be so hard. You're going to say, oh man, I'm going to drown.
સહજાનંદ સ્વામી મહારાજની જય. જમો નિથાળ જીવન જુવારી રે તો ચરણ કરો ત્યારી રે. જમો નિથાળ જીવન જુવારી રે. બેસો દેવા જડિયા ચારી રે. કટોરા કાંચનની થાળી રે. જડે ભર્યા ચંપુ ચોખાડી રે. જમો નિથાળ જીવન કરી કાઠ ગૌની ઘોડી રે. મેલી સાગર ઘોડી રે. કાઢ્યો રસ કેરીનો ઘોડી રે. જમો નિથાળ જીવન જમવારી રે. ઘડ્યા સાત કેવર ફૂલવાડી રે. દૂધ પાક માલપુઆ કળી રે. પૂરી પોચી થઈ છે ઘીમાં ચડી રે. જમો નિથાળ જીવન જમવારી રે. અઠાણા શાક સુંદર ભાજી રે. લાવી છું તરત કરી તાજી રે. દહીં ભાત સાકર છે જાજી રે. જમો નિથાળ જીવન જમવારી રે. જમો નિથાળ જીવન જમવારી રે. ચડું કર લાવું જળ ચારી રે. એલાયચી લવિંગ સોપારી રે. પાન બીડી બનાવી સારી રે. જમો નિથાળ જીવન જમવારી રે. વાસમન ગમતા લઈને રે. પ્રસાદી થાળ તળી લઈને રે. ઉમાનંદ કહે રાજી થઈને રે. જીવન જમવારી રે. જમો નિથાળ જીવન જમવારી રે.
How'd you know? That's all. You couldn't sneeze just now. You couldn't sneeze just now.
I'm gonna take you. That's the call from now.
That's a technical.
Yeah, that's a technical.
Both. This is the call for what's happening. You see it? When I do this, it's don't make me double technical.
You could get double technical.
I'll show you after. Now you get it.
Huh? Oh yeah, that's great training.
Huh? No, you have to do it. I think it might be already set up. I can't see it. I think it is. It's not set up yet? Oh no, it is. Why is it
I'll see if they're on order before.
Get a popsicle. Yeah, that's why you need the popsicles. Those are the best popsicles.
Yeah.
He got the next one, but he got the next one, Sam.
Is it like that? Obstacles are better. They're the ones with the drums.
Yeah, the drums. You got the entertainment.
Last question.
All of us are called.
I guess like the first week of school. Or I just like this will be the same as this week.
No, I didn't realize that this whole week is the whole thing now. So I'm guessing.
I'm so sorry.
No, some of them were bad. And then there's me on
Are you ready?
Yeah, I think he's ready.
He's ready?
Yeah. I think you wait for Joker.
Oh, she's trying to move that forward.
He started it. He wasn't enjoying it.
Just need one motion before I put it
સજાનંદ સ્વામી મહારાજની જય જય સદગુરુ સ્વામી પ્રભુ જય સદગુરુ સ્વામી સહજાનંદ દયાળુ સહજાનંદ દયાળુ બળવંત બહુ નામી ચરણ સરોજ તમારા બંધુ કર જોડી પ્રભુ બંધુ કર જોડી ચરણે શીશ ધર્યાથી ચરણે શીશ ધર્યાથી દુઃખ નાટ્યા તોડી નારાયણ નર ભ્રાતાથી જગુણ તનુધારી પ્રભુથી જગુણ તનુધારી પામર પતિત ઉધાર્ય પામર પતિત ઉધાર્ય અગણિત નર નારી નિત્ય નિત્ય નૌતમ લીલા કરતાય વિનાશી પ્રભુ કરતાય વિનાશી અડસત તીરથ ચરણી અડસત તીરથ ચરણી કોટી ગયા કાશી પુરુષોત્તમ પ્રગટ મુજે દર્શન કરશે પ્રભુ જે દર્શન કરશે કાળ કરમથી છૂટે કાળ કરમથી છૂટે કુટુંબ સહિત કરશે અવસર કરુણાનિધિ કરુણા બહુ કીધી વાલે કરુણા બહુ કીધી મુક્તાનંદ કરે મુક્તિ મુક્તાનંદ કરે મુક્તિ સુખ કરી છે પ્રભુ જય સદગુરુ સ્વામી પ્રભુ જય સદગુરુ સ્વામી સ્વામી મહારાજની વિશ્વે સચો સકળ વિશ્વ તણા વિધાતા દાતા તમે સકળ મંગલ શાંતિ દાતા માટે તમારું કરુણાનિધિ સત્ય નામ સાષ્ટાંગનાથ તમને કરું પ્રણામ અજ્ઞાન પાસ કરુણા કરી કાપી નાખો નિશે પ્રભુ તમ પદે મમ વૃત્તિ રાખો ભક્તોનું પાલન કરો પ્રભુ સર્વયામ સાષ્ટાંગનાથ તમને કરું પ્રણામ સહજાનંદ સ્વામી મહારાજ
Huh? Yeah.
This one, looks good.
It's not cold. You're cold. Go turn it. Okay.
We should stop making noise.
No, this is. Oh, they do like every few months now. One of this is for the May one. Change show.
Yeah, he uses his cell phone. He has like HTC One. He looks up the news on here.
That's why his 90-year-old professor has an HTV on.
I had tough humor today.
I told you that would be better. I told you that if I would bring back the freezer paper.
Yeah, you stuff.
Oh, you don't want to get the thing ready?
The like the comforter. It's in the bag on Monday.
This hurts right there.
Who, him? But your face that you should have good hand-eye coordination. What's that thing called? When you hit the black tile? You should have good hand-eye coordination. I'm trying to get you to be more athletic and in shape.
This is athletic. I have to down put like 0.1 ounce. That is.
What happened?
What if I
I walked in and it was there.
So, I hear that there's animals in my backyard.
What were they doing?
There's three actually, they're like 5 feet away.
No, no, those are the one that, that was like God. Yeah. I'm going to his guys like, it's so young.
Why does it take you so long?
I was just listening.
Yeah. Because I never played.
They put no, like, I know, like, we're talking about your senses and your soul breathing. There's one tell when you were I told you I wasn't I said it. But that's what he's saying to you. It's
But after that period, actually, I was just even if it's this one, my fault.
all jokes aside, you want to watch the recording and see what they want. I want you to.
This is why I say he doesn't know how to read English. Like, he doesn't know how to read.
No, but I'll just, if you want to watch it, just watch the recording and you know. It's because you got nervous, I can tell. Because of takeover.
સજાનંદ સ્વામી મહારાજની જય. ઓડે પ્રભુ સકળ મુનિ કેશામ, સ્વામિનારાયણ દિવ્ય મૂર્તિ, સ્વામિનારાયણ દિવ્ય મૂર્તિ, સંતન કે વિશ્રામ. હરે પ્રભુ સંતન કે વિશ્રામ. પોડે પ્રભુ સકળ મુનિ કેશામ, અક્ષર પરયાનંદ ગન પ્રભુ કિયો એવું પરઠામ. જેહી મિલત જન તરત માયા, જેહી મિલત જન તરત માયા, લહત અક્ષરધામ. હરે પ્રભુ લહત અક્ષરધામ. सकड़ मुनि केशाम, शारद शेष महेश महामुनि जपत जय गुण नाम. जास पदर शीश धरी धरी, जास पदर शीश धरी धरी, होवत जननी निष्काम. हरे प्रभु होवत जननी निष्काम. ओडे प्रभु सकड़ मुनि केशाम, प्रेम के पर्यंक पर प्रभु करत सुकुमारा. मुक्तानंद निज चरण डिग गुण, मुक्तानंद निज चरण डिग गुण, गावत आठो जाम. हरि गुण गावत आठो जाम. पोड़े प्रभु केशाम, स्वामिनारायण दिव्य मूर्ति, स्वामिनारायण दिव्य मूर्ति, संतन के विश्राम. हरे प्रभु संतन के विश्राम. पोड़े प्रभु सकड़ मुनि केशाम, સજાનંદ સ્વામી મહારાજની જય, શ્રી હરિ કૃષ્ણ મહારાજની જય, શ્રી ઘનશ્યામ મહારાજની જય, શ્રી સ્વામિનારાયણ ભગવાનની જય, શ્રી નરનારાયણ દેવની જય, શ્રી લક્ષ્મીનારાયણ દેવની જય, શ્રી રાધા કૃષ્ણ દેવની જય, સિયાવર શ્રી રામચંદ્ર ભગવાનની જય.
Take the other books.